They just keep coming, one after another, relentless, all with the same message and all with the same goals. And it'll get worse way before it gets better. Endless whispers of hidden phrases. I have 70 applications in 24 hours. Jesus. Hey, you should be an admin. That'd be real funny. Fuckers. It is crazy. I knew it was coming, and still actually seeing the reality of it really took me by surprise. Hello and welcome. It is June 9th, 2020. This is SCP Cafe, and I'm your host, Blue Soul, SCP Wiki Administrator, Chat Administrator, Technical Team, Co-Captain, Author, Loving Husband, Dog Petter, Cologne Aficionado, Tottenham Hotspur Supporter, Scuttle Overlord, and Wikidork Commander. Everybody was really feeling it yesterday. There were a lot of articles posted for the Exquisite Corpse Contest. As a matter of fact, there were too many articles posted yesterday for the Exquisite Corpse Contest. There were a dozen surviving articles just yesterday. That is a lot, and unfortunately, my day job is ramping up. That's kind of coinciding with all of this other stuff going on. So getting time to read has been a little difficult. I've got a plan for tomorrow, and I'm going to try and put it into play and see if I get anywhere with it. But as it is, still kind of getting ramped up with the wiki admin thing and getting things set up for this Wikidork project. Is it fair to say that we're kind of sneaking Project Foundation in through the back door? Because we just re-enabled the feature requests forum for Project Foundation. I have a team now of very good, intelligent tech team members going through and diligently taking information that is at some points, 2, 3, 4 years old, and going through it with a fine-tooth comb, determining what's still viable, what's not, and getting a plan together for presenting this back in a way that is useful for everyone. Things look really good, and I'm feeling the weight of it a little bit, if I'm honest. There's still a ton of work ahead if we are going the route of this, wiki.gritty reboot of sorts. There's a lot to do. It's a good chunk of the way there, but it's a good chunk of the way not there as well. And unfortunately, it's like, I don't know exactly how to explain the state of things to somebody that hasn't done professional development. If you are a developer, then I can tell you that the code base is from 2008, has little to no documentation, and the design patterns were outdated even when they first attempted them. Trying to put it into perspective, it's like you're in some weird MacGyver challenge contest. You see the finished product has been presented to you. This is what it looks like. Look, it's an airplane, and here's what we give you. This is a cardboard box and an apple. The apple is very old. Good luck. So I'm having to work backwards. Okay, I can see there are bits of the plane that are indeed made of cardboard. And could that be an apple stem that I spy holding up a piece of this wing? It is like the worst puzzle ever. This is wheel reinvention of a very high order. But reinventing the wheel is something I am pretty good at. And we're going to keep moving along, keep figuring out what this version lacks. So far, it hasn't been too bad, and it's just identifying all of the other nice-to-haves. Let's talk about one of those. Let's talk about voting. Voting is a thing that is pivotal to the SCP Foundation Wiki, but we are totally beholden to a system that we cannot really affect. And I'll throw some examples out there. Downvote sprees by various users where they'll go and they'll downvote 60 or 70 pages by an author. I mean, that's a lot, but let's say that, 50, 60, 70 pages by an author inside of an hour. Like, there's no way in hell that you're actually reading all that. I don't buy it. Nobody buys it. So, what do? Well, we can ban you from the wiki. We can kick your ass out, but the downvotes remain, and we don't have a way to, cleanly display to people that, hey, this has some downvotes, but, at least one of these was from somebody that was kicked out because they couldn't play nicely with others. Having the ability to basically revert all of the votes that a person cast in the event of a downvote spree, or in the event that, say, their account was compromised. Maybe we can do a partial rollback. We can say, we're going to revert all of the votes that were placed by this user in the last 24 hours, something like that. If an account is deleted after they place votes, those votes still count towards the total. Now, when we talk deletions policy, that's actually an edge case. It's something we have to keep track of when we're running deletions. If there are votes by a deleted account, they are removed, for better or worse. So if you were at -9 and you had an upvote from a deleted account, well, we don't count it, so now you're at -10 and you're at threshold and we can begin deletions. But again, we don't have a way to display that cleanly. So things like that, little things like that, can make a big difference in quality of life for staff to, to take what is kind of I'm not going to say a serious problem, but it's definitely an annoying one. And to be able to trivialize it, that's a goal of mine in a lot of ways, is let's trivialize the common annoyances, the common irritations. Here's one. How about an explicit no vote? How about a vote worth 0? I would love this, and I guarantee you, as soon as we get some of the really important high-level things knocked out with this Wikidot project, instituting and having a working proof of concept for no voting is something I'm going to be picking up almost immediately, because I don't think it's going to be all that difficult to do, and it will provide to me a lot of benefit. Because it's really hard to tell. If you're an author, especially if you've written for the wiki, you know this. The no vote, the unspoken no vote, is a real pain in the ass. You have no idea how many people are actually seeing your work and how they feel about it. Now, we were talking about voting in general in the staff chat today, and I pitched the idea, and we're just spitballing shit. Like, there was all sorts of stuff being proposed, and most of it's not things we're going to run with, but these brainstorming sessions are really useful for a project like this. I tossed out the idea, hey, what if you were required to add a comment with your vote, particularly if it was a no vote or a down vote? What would that look like? Because we do want to support the authors, we want to elevate the creators whenever we can, but at the same time, there are quality standards, and if the work is not, up to par, it's not going to stay, but should we provide that opportunity to, I don't want to call it like forcing feedback, but I guess there is an element of that. And I don't know how viable that is. It's something that we should have a longer conversation about, post it on O5, post it on the forum, see what people think. But generally speaking, we've been, just sort of tossing out a lot of different options because, -1 +1 is useful in a way, but it doesn't always tell the whole story. It also depends on what you are hoping to glean from the rating. What if we could display different analytics on the rating? Here's the rating from other people that have actually written an article on the wiki. Here is the rating from people whose works you have upvoted. I just thought of that one. That sounds useful. Because for me, at this point, writing for the wiki really is writing for my peers. I'm not really concerned about, the downvotes. I'm not concerned about things getting voted to deletion or anything of that sort. But I want to know what people people who I trust and enjoy their work, and I trust their opinion on my work, how do they feel about it? One other thing that was proposed, how about this? You can't see the rating of a piece until you vote on it. That's doable. That is very doable. That's doable without a ton of work. I don't think I want to go with anything like a weighted vote, especially if it's in the context of it determines whether the article lives or dies. That's a pretty radical shift. I'm not interested in really exploring it right now, but the concept of if you want to enable this view, this is something that if we build these different rating systems, having them displayed to users could be down to preference. It could be something you set in your profile. Like, I'd rather see, raw ups to downs. I'd rather see only votes from contributors. I'd rather see a weighted vote. Maybe you can assign weights. I want to say wiki staff have a weight of 3 and contributors have a weight of 2 and everybody else has a weight of 1. Stuff like that can be done. This is all very much solved problems, and it's a question of which of the solutions do we like, because statistics and all of the rating shit, there's a bunch of different ways by people way smarter than me with, that actually finished college, can tell you all about it, and they'll use words like coefficient or z-score and I'm going to tell you something. I trust nerds. I do. I've had a lot of exposure to them. I found them to generally be a source of good ideas. Now, I want to turn this around to you guys because this is something that will affect literally everybody. I want to know how people feel about the rating system. How is it now? Do you think it's doing the job that we set out for it? What could do it better? That kind of stuff. What things would interest you if you could design something? If I, told you, hey, I want you to make the rating system, and whatever you think would be the best way to determine the quality of a piece, what would you do? I'm all ears here. I will listen to just about anything along these lines. There are no lack of ways to get a hold of me, and I really do want to hear everybody's opinions on this. I'm going to give you some ways to get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me via scp.cafe. You can join the Discord that is linked. You can email me, bluesoul@scp.cafe. you can send me a Wikidot message at pxdnbluesoul. You can message me on Reddit at bluesoul. You can send me a message on the IRC from the wiki. That is also at bluesoul. No lack of options. If you're a patron, shoot me a message via the patron mail. If you're not a patron, even $1 can help. Really does go a long way. That is at patreon.com/scpcafe. You can read all about what I have set up for funding the Scuttle backup system, which is as important now as it has ever been, because Scuttle will more than likely be used to feed data into Wikidot, into Wikidork, I should say. I will more than likely be using it for that exact purpose. So it's possibly more important now than ever. I am looking forward to hearing what people have to say about ratings. If there's sufficient dialogue going on, I'm going to come back to this in a few days and, relay what some people had in mind and give my thoughts on it. In the meantime, with any luck, tomorrow I will be more with it with regards to being able to read for the day. It is tricky when there's that many articles and not enough time in the day. But like I said, I got a plan. I'm going to try and do better. Bear with me. Thank you all for the well wishes. I got a lot of congratulations for the promotion and made me feel real good. So thank you all. I will see you very soon. Until then, keep reading, keep writing, and goodbye, fellow kids.